obviously really disappointing loss. Just just think we just became kind of like unhinged, with that offensive start. First 5 minutes just did some things that we really didn't want to do offensively, and then I think that had a real negative effect on our defense, and just a really tough loss for us to absorb.
Coach, just Jordan Hawkins and Tristan both put on a good scoring performance in the second half. Can you just talk about those two tonight?
Yeah, I think Tristan, I think he's unlocked something here, and we've empowered him more. That was great to see. Would have gone into the game, and you would ask me if Hawk went for 28 and Tristan went for 23. Would have thought we'd be in really, really good shape in this one. But defensively, we were just so soft. It's rare for me, to have to almost get out of man defense almost entirely, just because we couldn't guard their guards in the first half. They were just getting to the rim, getting anywhere they wanted on the court. So as good as those guys were on offense, we were, the entire, I think, perimeter was that bad defensively.
Attribute that slow start to? Was it just your guys were wound up tight with this game, knowing how big it was?
Yeah, I think Andre kind of fell into that trap, early on there, where, he's such a competitive guy, and he's got such a strong will. I think some of the things that we want him to do, I think it took him a while to do that. He went out there super aggressive, looking to make it happen. But I think that hurt us a little bit offensively. We didn't do the things the first couple minutes, that we wanted to do. They obviously were playing really soft on Andre, and I think he took the bait. And then I just think when you get down, 5-0, 7-0, 9-0, you get put on your heels. They shot the ball really well. Obviously, they were making some tough shots, and they were making some easy shots. But I just think we got rattled. We're not used to playing as badly in the first half here as we played.
And would you be inclined to play more zone moving forward? And for that matter, the full court press obviously was effective too. I know you can't do that. Would you do that more? Would you consider doing that more?
Yeah, I think so. It's a lot harder to press these days with most teams having 4 perimeter and around the big. But yeah, I think part of the reason why the press works is because, God bless you. Part of the reason why the press works is is because the other team has a lead, and maybe they get a little bit passive. But I mean, I don't know what they shot against our man defense today. If we would have stayed in man, they might have shot 70%. So yeah, zone has got to be something that we use to disrupt rhythm, but if we can't get our man defense fixed, we're teams that exclusively play zone and not doing particularly well.
Dan, right here.
Yo.
Looking at the way the second half went, particularly on the defensive boards for you guys, a couple back-breaking possessions. Could you take us through just what needs to tighten up?
Yeah, some of it is just the problem with playing zone is you don't have a block-out responsibility when you're in zone, so you get kind of free runners. I want to see some of the clips, whether we were beat to the basketball or whether it was a little bit unlucky at times. But yeah, I mean, when you dig the hole that we dug against a team that's that good on offense, want to see what some of those clips were before I comment on whether somebody could have made an effort play to grab it.
Dan, when Andre's in that situation where they're kind of baiting him to score and they leave him wide open,
Yeah.
what are the correct decisions that he should be making there?
Yeah, I mean, when they do that to you, you can obviously you can drive the ball at the defender that's playing really soft on you, maybe not, at top speed, because then maybe you're susceptible to committing a charge, but you could eat up some of that real estate, pick your way into the paint, and now, find some type of an angle at the rim. What he started doing, I think, in his second run, more so in the, was trying to like cut more, screen. Like if you have Jordan being guarded, as that next player, and you've got the ball, and you guys playing you soft, you could go and dribble handoff at him. And now there's no one to help when Jordan's coming off, and I think he started to do that. It's something that we wanted to do going in, but it's tempting, man, when you're when you're the type of man that Andre is, type of warrior that he is, and I've never coached somebody that wants to win as much as him. It's a tough situation.
After only getting 2 points in the first half, Jordan really came alive. What got him going?
I thought we screened better for him. I thought he was just sharper with his cutting. We just executed things so much better. We just got so rattled by the first 5 minutes of that game offensively that I think everyone just started pressing. And then Adama, they trapped him pretty hard and put him in some tough positions there with the basketball at times. So, but Jordan just looked decisive, and the second half was impressive.
The timeout right before Jordan hit that, is that just bad timing, bad luck kind of right there?
Yeah, the possession was going not great. What we wanted to run, we didn't. There were a couple of the players, didn't get to the right spots, and it didn't look like it was going to end the way that ended. And I literally, maybe I even called it sooner than Tony even probably gave it to me. Yeah, whoever's got questions, Phil. It doesn't have to be one more. You can ask whatever questions you want.
In this case, you talk a lot about the mentality of your team and how hard you want them to work. After a hot start, you're still looking for your footing. What do you need from them out of the stretch?
Yeah, you got to try to, obviously clean up the defensive end. That's an excellent offensive team. They got answers all over the place. Inside, outside, guard play, high level, but giving up 53% at home, that's not who we are. And then just in terms of offensive execution, to start a game, you can't put yourself, in a 17-point hole versus quality like that and, expect to be able to, dig yourself out like we did, but then even surge ahead. This group is got to put this game behind us. I think the bye or this little break comes at a pretty good time for us to regroup. Obviously, we got to get the bench going. We've obviously got to find a way to get Adama and Donovan, producing. I think we missed them a bunch in the ball screen game. I think we missed them a bunch in low post entries, and we're at our best when that center position is dominant. And but with what Tristan did and what Jordan's looking like, get that center position going, get some of the depth pieces going, get the defense fixed. Obviously, we got a bunch of things we got to do, but that team is still there that has the quality. I mean, the huddles in the first half were like looks of like kind of like disbelief that we could play, that poorly in this building, and then just the second half team. I think we might have won every 4-minute war in the second half or close to that, and that second half team was the team that I love to coach. I mean, that is a team with spirit and fighting spirit and the guts to make big shots and to make plays all over the court. And obviously with with what Tristan's done the last couple games, as hard as that was to take here, we've got 9 conference games left to really get our act together. Build on that starting guard play, fix the stuff that fix the things that we're not doing at the defensive end of the court. But I think getting that type of backcourt production today is obviously something you can build on defensively. We've completely lost our way, and I obviously got to get that fixed. Yo. On that the out under one or yeah. I mean, your only shot there is to try to flash the 7-2 guy and X shooters and try to quick pass it to one of the wing guys for a desperation 3. On the out under, they ended up with 9 seconds left switching out, which makes it difficult because now you've got to be able to put the brakes on and push screens and be able to throw it over the top. And Joey might have been able to get one off going left. But that was teams that switch everything. At that point in the game, it made it hard on us to execute against that. No, what we wanted to do was try to get Adama and Donovan to kind of like X each other, screen each other, or Adama screen Donovan's guy, and try to get really deep and hope for like a high bounce, something where they could really bury their guy under the basket, try to get a tip in late. It seemed like the best way to go. Anything else? Thank you.